big issue for voters during the midterm election as economic woes nationwide continue to force some Americans to cut back on spending. We're already beginning to see the early impacts of the midterms on the stock market now. Markets typically show spikes and gains the day after these votes come in. Today, we're seeing a weaker opening on Wall Street. And for more on all of this, Javier David is joining us. He's the managing editor of Business and Markets at Axios. Good to see you. What does the market make of the election so far?
What it makes thus far is something that markets abhor, and that is uncertainty. So the fact that we still don't quite know, we suspect that the Republicans will control the House. They might control the Senate, but everything's sort of being up in the air, and a number of these races ending in photo finish means that we still don't have clarity on policy. We still don't have sort of a direction about where the next Congress will lead us on certain issues, particularly the debt ceiling and taxes and all of these other things that tend to motivate investors. And so what we're seeing is weakness in the market because, again, markets just don't like to not know what's going on.
So best case scenario, we get some clarity in a week or so. Worst case scenario, we have to wait for a runoff in Georgia, and we don't get it until like the beginning of December. That being said, there were some 200 or 300 odd election deniers that were running. If people start to question the outcome of various elections, does that have an impact on the markets as well?
Well, coincidentally, this is a story that I'm actually working on over the next couple of weeks. We are seeing a tremendous amount of political uncertainty and sort of this idea that all of the things that we take for granted in an advanced democracy, the world's biggest economy, the world's deepest liquid market, the political stability that we've always enjoyed for decades, if not centuries, is really coming into question. And that is in a number of different ways playing out in asset prices, the currency, interest rates, how certain sectors trade. There's a lot of, okay, can I trust the government to do the right thing? Can I trust that an outgoing president is going to concede and transfer power the way that presidents before him have done for centuries? All of these things are no longer a given. And so therefore, we're going to see a lot more uncertainty. I think there was an analyst I heard last night, which mentioned that this is the 8th time in 9 elections that voters have removed the party in power. We're just getting a lot of volatility associated with politics, and that's just doesn't make for a healthy trading environment.
And you think that's why the markets have roiled so much here? I mean, it's been for months now, right? It's been up and down.
Right.
And we've been up here a little bit, but now we're back down again.
Yeah, and markets do this. I mean, there's a lot of toing and froing. The big story for markets continues to be inflation, the path of interest rates and Federal Reserve policy, whether or not we will enter a recession, whether or not we're in a recession. These are the motivating factors. But all of this other political volatility and uncertainty is just kind of adding to the market's general sense of malaise or unease, whatever you want to call it. But it's just not a healthy environment.
And one would think, Javier, that, I mean, nothing's going to happen for sure until the Fed peaks out on interest rates.
Absolutely. And that's the number one thing that investors want to know. They want to get a sense as to when this tightening cycle is going to come to an end. And as I've said ad infinitum on this program, the Fed is nowhere near making that pronouncement. They have, in fact, indicated quite the opposite, that rates are more than likely to head higher before they go lower. Even if we sort of stumble into a recession, it is not a guarantee that the Fed will pull back on monetary policy. So we just, again, one of those things that you simply can't take for granted.
All right, Javier, great talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.